welcome to Binge Buddies, Fork the Forking Forkers. I actually said the title this week. Aren't we all feeling proud of me? It's because
we are feeling proud.
It's because somebody on this episode decided to forking make me wake up at forking earlier to forking record earlier, and I'm still 20 minutes late, but I did the best I forking could. Anyhow,
thank you forking much.
Here's a hint as to who did it. They're wearing glasses.
Fork, that makes it tough.
That's
even though I just
an
said
amazing
thank you.
joke for this audio medium.
Hey, there's some video stuff sometimes, not so much right now.
Not for this show.
There will be, I think, maybe, probably. It requires effort.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, keep listening and then maybe watching if it happens.
I feel like if that happens, I need to get like a set of fake mustaches and just have a different one each episode.
Oh, I'm for it, but you can do that for us. We'll appreciate it too. I think I said this, but I don't remember. I'm your host, always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt Zombie Dog, Johann Kepler Dykes. Pretty sure I've used that one before.
Yeah, we talked about the Kepler stuff before. Definitely, he was a mathematician, if I remember right.
Yep. So yeah, the ranker list is starting to fail me because the rankings are changing a lot. I guess people are still voting on the greatest people of all time. So I think when we start season 3 of The Good Place, I might come up with a new ranking system. But until then, we have. I'm gonna throw Joel one here. Joel, JRR Tolkien, Dewitte.
That's very generous of you. Thank you very much.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, because he's a good friend, Ryan.
Yeah, listen to that.
Hey, I'm a good friend too. I went to the extended edition of the Fellowship yesterday, and I didn't invite you.
That rats. You know,
I feel like if you ever get to Frank Herbert, that should be Joel as well, just to like really rub it in of like, you should read Dune.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I have a feeling that Frank Herbert will not be on the list of great people of all time. Kind of a scumbag, that guy, who writes some good books. But we do have, before we finish our nicknames, we have, sure, why not? Ryan William Wallace Lootens.
Sons of Scotland, I am William Wallace, and I see a whole army of my countrymen.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm no longer going in order. I'm just jumping around to the names I recognize, because if you want to keep voting, then my system's completely ruined. And my system was very shaky to begin with.
It's too bad. It's too bad we didn't have the foresight to like take a screen grab of the top good people at the start of this.
Yeah, just like saved the site. Yeah, that would have been better. Because once it started moving, I've been screwed. I mean, I guess I could just keep going like this. And
I just thought it'd be fun to see a side-by-side comparison of where it started and where it ended up.
Where people ended up moving people. That'd be kind of funny. I'll let people know, when we started this show, the big man himself, Jesus Christ, he was at 4. He's moved up to 2. Jesus, climbing the ranks.
He's doing good things.
He is, yeah. He bumped off Isaac Newton. Yeah, I guess, you know.
I mean, Isaac Newton just messed around with an apple. Jesus turned water into wine.
Which it's all that CrossFit.
Famously.
Oh,
I mean, ruin my joke. I was gonna make a joke there about famously wine not being the best thing if you are like, you know, dehydrated.
I mean, I got nothing. Anyhow,
I love dead air. It's the best.
Me too. It's always there for us. All right, we are on to chapter 20, I believe. The numbers really got screwed up for me when they did the double one in the beginning of this season, so the chapters are kind of a mess in my head. But we are on the episode Michael and Janet, and then after Michael and Janet, we are moving into Derek. And then after Derek, we're moving on to Leap of Faith and Best Self, which might feel, when you get to next week when you're listening to us, it might kind of feel like we're doing a season finale. We're not, but you know, it might kind of feel like it for a minute there. But we'll talk about that next week. I like what this show does. Keeps you on your toes. This season, or these 2 episodes, not really so much keeping us on our toes. Things stay status quo as far as The Good Place. But man, we have some fantastic episodes. One that's very heartfelt and one that's extremely funny. Yet again, a very good pairing. I like that The Good Place is working with us, kind of like how Venture Brothers used to. Like, yeah, Janet and Michael paired with Derek. Perfect. Leap of Faith and Best Self. Perfect. Thank you, Good Place. You're making our podcasting easier. I want to do a quick room check though before we get started into Janet and Michael. I asked, I think it was last week, it might have been the week before, the people who had not seen the show, do you trust Michael? After these 4 episodes, has your answer changed? Keep in mind, your answer last time was no and no.
No.
Still not trusting Michael. Okay.
I think I'm a believer. I'm team
Okay.
trust Michael at this point. Yeah.
Now, is that because of
Demon!
these 2 episodes or the next 2, though?
Oh, that's fair. Okay. As of right now, no, I don't trust Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joel the flip-flopper DeWitte.
Spoilers for next week. Joel might change his mind.
Stay tuned.
Ryan, it's really just changing your perspective based off of new information you've received. It's called being an adult.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Clearly. All right, so
Joel
Janet and
understands
Michael.
object permanence.
Quit being like Cheaty, Joel.
All right, so at the end of last week, we found
that's
out
an
that
insult.
that is a real good insult.
In both sense. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Oh
to
man,
move
Joel
past it.
cheated up the.
Janet and Michael. We're talking Janet and Michael. End
So
of last
we're
week.
talking about Cheaty and how he relates to Joel.
End of last week, we
I
found.
mean, my
out-
mind is just a
I'm gonna
mixture of a
keep
fork
going.
inside of a garbage disposal. That's about what
With
he and I
forks
share
in
in
it.
common. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Janet and Michael.
All right, shut the
We gotta
fuck
talk
up.
about Janet.
I just like how Brian is like really trying to get through this. It's like 4 or 5 times now.
I've got to hit the road, but I'm having a blast.
That's.
This
I'm
is-
trying to. I woke up early for Ryan. I'm trying to stay on task for Ryan. Pork Ryan. My God.
I am derailing the train to the good place.
Last time I do anything for you, and you're coming out to visit me. Good fork and luck.
Yeah. So yeah, back on track.
Janet and Michael, everyone.
So tempted to just start talking.
I
again.
know. I was actually giving you a moment in case it was going to happen again. I love this episode. I think this is a great episode. It's probably our most heartfelt episode we've had so far.
Agreed.
Cards on the table. I don't want to spoil things. I think most of us are catching on by me even asking the question a lot. This is where I started trusting Michael. As a fan of the show, Janet and Michael, this episode was for me where I'm like, I'm in. And it was specifically when Janet asked him, why can't he kill her? And he just loses it. It's because you're my friend. It's the only friend he's ever had. And he's been alive since time began. I find that fascinating. I think Ted Danson sells it like a goddamn champion of acting. And I just love this episode. The rest of the episode is great. It has this awesome running gag of people from the show that are not in this episode just popping into the office with random nonsense going on. I love it. I think this is an episode is just absolutely phenomenal episode. One of my favorite of the entire season. Want to hear what you guys think? Hot takes on it before we start moving through it.
This is an episode that really shows the writing, how the writing of the show is mainly geared towards being a sitcom, but this episode really kind of leans into the heart. And the heart of the show I'm really starting to feel is Michael. He is at the center of everything. And the fact that they are starting to give this nuance that there could be multiple layers to Michael is really brought out with this relationship with Janet. Now, however, this is an artificial intelligence, so it's not really real. So is the friendship real? That's why I said no.
I get that. I think for me, I'm trying to put myself back in 2000, whenever this came out. I think where I was at that kind of got me there was that they keep harping on the 800 reboots. Like, this is not a standard artificial intelligence. This thing is expanded. Sorry to step on Joel. Joel, how are you feeling about this one?
I was struck by how little we saw the main cast outside of Michael and Janet here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it felt like I don't want to say afterthought, but because it was very intentional, I think, to focus on Michael and Janet mostly. It just felt strange to have that shift in focus, right? Now, that being said, that's not a knock against it. This is still another great episode of the show. It took me by surprise a little bit as we wrapped it. I was like, we really haven't seen much of you guys at all.
Yeah. And then Matt, I know you've seen this one before. I don't think you've watched the show quite as many times as I has though. So on this rewatch, you still digging it? Do you ever like
No,
it?
no, I really like this episode, and like I think I was probably in the same boat as you were. In like this was the episode I started thinking, I think Michael is actually for real at this
Yep.
point as well. Like there's just something about the way that he articulates to Janet why he doesn't want to kill her, because there's no reason for him to do that. Because if he's gonna have to kill her because she's destroying it, and he's still acting, he just do it. Like, because like the whole point of his act is to string, if it was an act, sorry, it would be to string them along. Like, you can't string them along if the whole, good place neighborhood collapses because of the defective Janet. He just replace her with a new Janet. But there is this actual relationship there, and someone who is a big fan of Star Trek as well. I never had the issue of, well, it's not a real friendship because artificial intelligence. Like, you look at Data in Next Generation and his relationship with Geordi and like the other members of the crew. Those are real relationships, and Data is artificial intelligence. He's not human. He's striving to be human, but he's not, like, he's probably more machine-like than Janet is.
Oh, for sure.
Especially at this point as well. Like, so I never really had that kind of thing of like, well, it can't be a real friendship because it's AI. Because I've seen that in Star Trek, like done really well, and a genuine friendship out of that as well. So I think like this is a really good turning point in like the character of Michael, and where we start to really believe him and trust him, especially like given like what we had in the trolley problem, where he was literally torturing Chidi for most of the episode. So like, and that kind of put you on the back foot. I was like, well, I really don't know if I can trust him at this point as well.
Keep in mind, he does get Chidi tortured again in this episode.
Yes, that's true.
That is my favorite. It is my favorite.
When he walks in with the needles.
I can't walk. I have needles in my feet.
Okay, so show of hands, who's had acupuncture here before? Because that's what kind of needle it is, right?
Yeah.
He looked like that kind of needle. Yeah, like very sort of thin. I mean, to be fair, to me, it looked like he'd fallen into a cactus.
It did kind of, or he'd kind of turned into a cactus in a way.
Yeah, maybe a Chidi cactus.
This just goes to a testament of the cast. Yes, we're getting great things from Ted Danson, but when the guy that plays Chidi, oh god, his name is slipping me, but he's just standing there straight faced with all this stuff in his face, and he is delivering these lines completely nonchalantly. It's perfect.
So many needles, just everything about
the way his face doesn't move as well. It's almost like
his lips are barely moving too.
Yeah, it sounds like his face has gone totally numb because of all the needles in it.
But Michael's dismissal of him is fantastic. Like I don't know, walk it off. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Like
I can't walk it off. I have needles in my feet too.
Like, I love that. Like, throughout this season, I think it kind of goes away in later seasons, not to get too spoilery, but you get that like Michael might be warming to the humans, but he's not a fan of Chidi. Like, he might like Chidi, but he also doesn't like Chidi.
I think he's still sour on him for the whole thing of like, I know more than you. I'm sure of it.
But like,
it's still in that, you fucking what?
Well, I didn't even see. It's like, you're bad. You're not good, but like, you're not good in a boring way.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing entertaining about your badness.
Oh, it's just so like, he calls him like Egghead and like Dr. Buzzkill all the time.
Yes.
But to be fair, that's what Eleanor calls him as well. She calls him Dr. Buzzkill, I'm sure.
I mean, that's true. I mean, Eleanor and Michael are a hell of a pair.
I mean, there's even that line early in one of the earlier episodes where she's like, "Oh, that's so great. We're so alike. Oh my god, what's that say about me?"
Yeah. Only other thing I want to mention before we start moving more throughout this episode is one more thing on the Chidi and Needles thing. When Vicky comes into the office, all upset, and he's like, "Oh, you know who needs some torturing right now? Chidi." And they're like, "Yes, Chidi does need torturing right now. I had the best plan, needles." And just that dead air, and then, oh, that's it. I love it. Just because like you didn't know, you could guess the show was going to pay it off, but you didn't know for sure. And then when the show does pay it off, of Chidi just walking in, you guys didn't give me a heads up about the needles. Man, I love this show. But anyhow, so we're going to kind of pull this thing back a little bit. And then don't forget, we still have a whole nother episode of what Janet does to fix this problem she's having, called Derek. So
Derek.
throughout this episode, we are finding out slowly but surely that what's happening with Janet while she's breaking the episode is that she is having some massive problems with Tahani and Jason.
Copulating,
hooking up. What do you want to call it? They get engaged, I think, by the end of this episode, correct?
Something
That
like
next
that.
episode?
Yeah.
That's this episode.
yeah, they want
right?
to get married. They're getting married.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest fan of the Jason Tahani stuff. I see it as a writer's moment, if that makes sense. Like this is like we need this stuff to make this work. But I don't really see the chemistry between the two of them, which I don't think you're supposed to. Like I think that's kind of intentional, but it means that like whenever these scenes happen, I'm like, I'm just with Janet, and I'm just not a fan of watching these two together. But I don't mean that as like a knock towards the show.
Tahani slips into her worst instincts.
Yeah.
In these episodes where she's with Jason, because there's such extremes where, Jason is still Jason and he's dumb, but everybody knows that. But Tahani, like, she's slipping back into her sort of privileged, hoity-toity kind of sense of mind and almost the superiority. And it gets grating when he's being really sincere and everything, and she's being sincere too, but it's like there's a twinge of meanness to it sometimes.
So right,
the relationship always sort of felt like a little bit like Tahani was horny.
Yeah.
And Jason's the most attractive one available that's not gonna have like a mental breakdown about having sex with someone like Chidi would.
Or is a literal demon.
Yeah.
So what
Ryan,
I was
what were
going
you
to say,
saying?
Brian, is it fair to say that the writers did their job in conveying, the emotion of Janet so much?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That-
They nailed it. That doesn't change my feeling if I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
You did a good job. Such a good
these
job.
writers,
Yeah.
To me, it's the fact that these writers can keep doing what they're doing on season 2 shows the skill of the room.
Yeah.
These writers really are not pulling any punches and making sure that these characters develop at the pace they want, while also showing the depth of them. So it's depth and growth, and that's what's crazy. You don't get that on a 20-minute sitcom a whole lot. It takes almost over seasons. This is happening almost rapid fire, especially after the end of season 1.
Yeah. But you also have to think, like, we're halfway through season 2. It feels rapid fire because the writing's so good. Like we're a good way into the show. Like it's not like it's going that fast. It's just that's how well the show's written that it feels that way.
Yep.
Well, if you compare season 2 to season 1, it's like at the speed that season 1 went, and even though there's like, season 1's like the episodes are quite loaded. Like the 20-minute episodes, there's like about 40 minutes worth of material in each of the episodes. It still was quite drawn out. Whereas season 2 feels like if they were going at the same pace as season 1, by the point we're at now, we'd be like season 3, start of season 4 in terms of like how. Yeah. But it, like season 2 is just sort of like bang, bang, bang. Like it's going so rapid fire, and I think part of it's maybe because they realized why they lost viewers. But the other thing is, I think it maybe came down to the fact that with season 1, they were always intending that last episode to be the reveal of it's the bad place.
Yeah.
But then you've got a whole lot of real estate to get through to get to that point. Whereas with season 2, if you sort of like, if you've got like, we're starting at B, we want to get to C, but then there's a lot more that you can do in between there a little bit more. But now that we know it's the bad place as well, we can have these kind of like, this is essentially a bottle episode. It's
totally. Yeah.
Pretty much takes place in one room, but there's so much character development and build up and everything like that. And there's none of this there's no trying to hide the fact that they're in the bad place as well. I think the reveal itself freed them up a lot more in season 2 to just kind of like go with it and hit these episodes like with just like a rapid fire thing of like, the first episode, the second episode where you have like, we go from attempt 2 to attempt 800 and something like that was season 1. That'd be like 2 or 3 episodes, like because of like how long you'd have to like the pacing of season 1. So I think the pacing in season 2, like the overall story arc in season 2, the pacing of it is a hell of a lot quicker as well.
The end of the first season was really like on a roller coaster going up, 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 and then season 1 end and season 2 start was the first decline. And I don't mean in quality. I mean like in terms of like going at a speeding train kind of accelerationist. The interesting part of 2 so far is that there are lots of conclusionary episodes or episodes with finite endpoints that feel like they could be a season finale for any other show.
Next week for sure.
But this is moving at such a quick clip, and then you look at the episode number, and it's like, but we have so much more to go here.
Yeah,
you know, it's this weird dissonance in how you normally expect a show like this to go in terms of pacing and like the ups and downs in terms of like story arcs. So it's a really fascinating experience to do it the first time like this.
Yeah, it's a hell of a ride.
It's a really good way of putting it, Joel, as well. Like, because season 1 is very much like anticipation.
Yeah,
like very much like, so you've got that, you're going up on the roller coaster, and then season 2 is the kind of the release of like, oh my god, this is incredible, like the excitement, and it's going at that breakneck speed as well. It's a really good way of describing that, because like I think that's why season 1 lost a lot of people, because it's like this anticipation, then everyone's kind of like thinking they know what it is, when actually, you know, you're getting off the roller coaster before, you know, someone's just giving you a check for £1,000 before you go over the edge and you go, oh, what's this?
Yeah, you should have stayed on that ride. But here, I want to talk a little bit more about this one before we start moving into Derek. We've been kind of dancing around a lot of this, because this episode is basically a 20-minute conversation. So it's kind of tough to really go through it like beat by beat as we have the other shows, the other episodes, because it is just like, it's one scene. Essentially, but there are some really great things in there. Like I love like this for me, like seeing how good God, what's her name, the woman who plays Janet, I'm forgetting her name right now, but just seeing like you get to see her entire range of acting in this episode. And all the way from like we get to see how Michael stole the original Good Place Janet, which was he just did it. No one locked the door, so he just walked in and took it.
Which is a very Good Place thing. Like
it totally
like, it's like, well, we don't need to lock the door, like, you know, no one's gonna get in here,
no one's gonna do anything mean.
This is a good place.
So I love that. And then like all the demons are just like, how? Well, I just did it.
I just walked in and walked out with a Janet.
Yeah, dummies never locked the door. But then we also get to see like the Janet trying to understand what's going on inside of her own brain. And I love all that stuff of like, you're in love with Jason. No, I'm not capable of that. That's not what I do. And then it's like, but this. And like as soon as it lands, like, oh, I am. And just her, oh, nuts.
But it's that thing as well. It's like as she sort of like says, or as Michael says, someone says like basically like, yeah, you're not just a Janet anymore. You're a Janet that's been rebooted 800 times, and then like you know, with 800, with each reboot there's a level of evolution like going on there, and like, you know, so you've evolved to the point where, you know, as she said, like, I'm the most advanced Janet. And it's like, well, yeah, because you've been rebooted more times than any other Janet ever has.
Yeah. So she decides to tell Michael there's only one way to do it, which I find very interesting, because we know to reboot Janet, she has a huge safety protocol. But to kill Janet, no safety protocol whatsoever. Very cheerily, just like, all right, do it. Kill me. Whee! It's like, and just the instructions of like, you will marbleize her, which can be thrown into the universe or galaxy or whatever, like, or eaten as a midday snack. I'm very high in potassium, like a banana.
I was just looking through my notes, like, what is everyone's favorite glitch that happens?
Oh, mine is, I'm saving mine for my quotes, but the best glitch is when the room gets robbed. That is
that's pretty good.
Took everything.
You're standing right here.
These guys are good.
My favorite one though is just when they're just talking and then all of a sudden the sandwich just drops on the desk.
Yeah,
it's just this massive sandwich. When it's like, okay. The vomiting pennies one's good though as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
And Michael being completely unfazed and just shade to the coat.
All dropping. They're so good though. Like the glitches are just because then when you start thinking about when he starts doing the troubleshooting, it's all about the things that Janet can generate, and that's all the glitches are. It's like she's just generating random crap.
Yeah.
Without any sort of instruction or prompting, and that's what the actual glitches are. It's not like the system's falling apart. It's more like the system's just going, "Oh, you need this generated now," and they're just providing.
You need a whole bunch of pennies.
Someone's requested a 55-foot long sandwich.
But before this episode's over, and before we move into the magic that is Derek, we have to help Janet figure out that she's going through a breakup and she's going through jealousy and all these very human feelings. And we get probably the best tee up of the season so far of we should consult our most problematic human. Smash cut to Eleanor. I love Eleanor's advice to Janet. Like that entire sequence is another just very long conversation, but all of her advice is very Eleanor, which I find hysterical. Like you just need to find some other hottie, go get it, girl.
My quote's here.
It's just fantastic. Janet takes all of her advice, but while trying to go find another guy, can't find one, but she is a Janet, so she makes one. And here comes Jason Mantzoukas as Derek. Didn't know I was going to need Jason Mantzoukas more in my life since he was very in our lives for pretty much the entirety of the 2010s and the beginning of the 2020s. But this
is around the same time that he did that long stint in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, at the same time as this.
And The League. He was like all three of these shows right at the same time. He was a lot of and I watched all three of those shows a lot. So it's like I had a lot of Jason Mantzoukas in my life. This is my favorite one of him. He is that perfect level of manic nonsense to have been made by some eternal being that can do anything
and can only half understand the human experience.
Yeah. So with that said, let's start our Derek episode. All I can say for Derek is he has wind chimes instead of a penis. That should be all we need to know.
That may or may not be my quote for this one in another episode.
Oh, I hear wind chimes. We've praised this writer's room a lot. I'm going to keep praising him. Whoever came up with that idea deserves an award. It is hysterical. The visual is so disturbing, but it's so funny. And Jason Mantzoukas comes into this show holding absolutely nothing back. Like he is chewing the scenery like it's his job, and it is just hysterical. I sent the message to the group when we were watching these episodes. I had 3 quotes before we even got to the title screen for this episode because he just rapid fires. And then how do I keep forgetting Janet's name? Anybody, can they help me out?
Yeah, hold on.
Janet.
I know Janet.
Darcy Carden.
Darcy Carden. Okay, so Jason and Darcy, their chemistry is unmatched. They are hysterical together. The second she's trying to say that she's trying to get over Jason, and he's like, Jason, 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 Jason. Jason, Jason, Jason.
And then he's getting the sign that he just holds up that says, "I can't stop saying Jason."
My favorite is when he gets called in and Eleanor's standing there and he goes, "Jason, it's about time we met." Not Jason.
What I like is always like the speed that the relationship goes from like, "Oh, hey, babe," to like, "I hate you, go away."
Yeah, she's speed running the breakup experience.
Oh yeah, to send him to your void. It's our void. We moved in together. And then within a scene later, I'm going back to our void. Not your void, my void. They just crack me up.
Then he's in a tree.
He's in a tree. But when they get to him in the tree, he's introducing himself to the tree by shaking each leaf. Hi, I'm Jason. Hi, I'm or hi, I'm Derek. So good. Sorry, him being named Jason Mantzoukas and having a character in the show named Jason is gonna garble my head throughout the rest of our podcast. I apologize in advance. Doing the best I can. The thing I like about this episode, though, is kind of to beyond how amazing it is, to harken back to something Joel said earlier in the episode, was that the last episode had, I'm going to say episode a lot right now, had an extreme lack of the core 4 humans. This one brings them all back in a very fun way. We get probably the best time we've had with Jason and Tahani, them on their little date. I don't know how they did that without Janet. Like, there's a lot of stuff set up, and I know Tahani's not doing any of that, so I'm guessing she made Jason do all of it, which I find very funny. But I like their whole
like, because then Michael had that all set up to send them away. So
I guess that's true.
It's possible that he probably had Janet make it because they're out far out of the thing. So he maybe just sort of like, oh, Janet, make all this stuff, put all this stuff over here.
I'm gonna still think that Tahani made Jason do it because it's funnier in my head, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we now have Michael who has to put his ethics training to the test because he knows they have to kill Derek, because if Vicky finds out about Derek, their whole ruse is up, or he has to break up Tahani and Jason, which is also ethically questionable. And the whole time he's trying to figure this out, he's got Professor Egghead who keeps reminding him of all of these ethical quandaries that they're walking into. And I love all of it. Like, all of their interactions throughout all this is trying to figure it out is great, especially seeing more of like Eleanor and Michael getting together. Like when Michael's like, we got to break them up. How would we do this? Just, girl, you are a messy bench who loves drama, and I'm here for it.
It's literally like having the devil and the angel on the shoulder. Like Michael's a demon, but he's got Chidi the angel and Eleanor the devil on his shoulder, like throughout this entire episode. And it's their sort of interaction is so good. Like when they're like standing, like looking up at the tree with Derek in, and it's like there's sort of like the back and forth going on where they're talking there. It's just it's chef's kiss, like so well written.
Oh man, and then, like, even this one has those tiny sight gags we didn't get a ton of last week, but like just the little things of like when they go to visit Tahani and Jason, she's like, he's making me watch this awful horror movie about these criminals that are trying to
Home Alone. It's Home Alone. I love that because she looks so horrified. It's disgusting. Like they've kidnapped a small child and they're torturing him. It's like Home Alone.
I love that stuff. Sorry, you can tell I'm just kind of going through my notes and just like, oh man, that thing popped out at me. But just kind of saying
like
Jason
Jason telling Tahani about his education.
That's where I was going.
It's like just like a bunch of tugboats tied together in a junkyard.
What was the school? Leonard Skinner High?
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah.
Leonard...
Florida.
So all this craziness is going on. The wedding is about to happen. They have to go break up the wedding. They show up, they're ready to do it, and Michael suddenly can't do it. Professor Buzzkill got in his head. Like, he actually the eternal demon who has been torturing humans since time began suddenly can't make himself do something like this. Like, there's some character arc. It's a very funny sequence, especially with Professor Buzzkill got in my head. But still, that's some character growth. Normal Michael would have just done it.
And Eleanor is so excited to be part of a breakup of a wedding to have that, if any, speak now or forever hold your peace thing.
I mean, I honestly don't blame her. There's something very cinematic about getting to do that. I've never gotten to do that. It'd be fun. I don't have a good reason for giving a wedding. I mean, maybe. I guess it depends on the reason.
I mean, Eleanor even at one point just tells Michael, just reboot us all. Yeah. Let's try this again. And it's just kind of like, and even then he's like, no, I can't do it. And it's just like Michael has come a long way.
He has.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got further to go, which I appreciate. I don't want to spoil anything for season 3, but he's got a lot of learning to do in season 3.
I love when they're like and they're at the reboot buttons, and just not just like the reboot buttons themselves, because like Janet's is the reboot button, and then Jason's is like something out of Borderlands. That's just,
like a pile of garbage.
But their defensive systems going off at the same time is so fucking good. It's like I have a baby boyfriend. Just like, that's me, or however they describe it.
So they break up the wedding. It doesn't happen. They break up the wedding with sheer honesty. That does the trick of like, look, you used to be married to her, and this is weird. It's like, oh well, there that goes. It works. Everyone's happy-ish.
The
But
the weddings, I guess that we don't know all the perspective of time, but my thought was this is quick. This is quick for a wedding. I mean, I think they let on later it's been a few months or something like that.
I don't know. I think it being quick is part of Jason's MO. I mean, he married Janet in like 3 seconds.
He proposes to Tahani at the little campsite in this episode. So it's like, within seconds.
I think Joel was saying like how long the relationship has been.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Jason always seems like the kind, like, he's dumb as spades, but I just think he's the kind of person who, if he likes someone, is just like, hey, we're gonna be together forever because I like you.
He tried to marry Pillboy, like.
Yeah, that's right.
I did. He's pure id, so it's like there isn't much rationale behind it other than you make me happy, and I like doing stuff with you.
I mean, he married Janet originally because she was nice to him.
Yeah. I guess I expected more from Tahani. Let's put it that way.
I was gonna say he married Janet, who couldn't even figure out how to have sex with him. Tahani figured it out. Like she made it work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed to enjoy it. Said he was quite good at it because he was such an idiot. So we're done with all this stuff. Now we need to do the wrap up of this episode because I feel like there's 2 things that happen in this wrap up that I think are very important. One, we have Eleanor in her first very non-Eleanor moment where she comes clean about a secret she's been keeping. Not something that Eleanor before she was in the Good Place would ever have done. And she comes clean about the tape she's been hiding from Chidi, where they were in love with each other. This for me is every rewatch I've ever had of this show, my least favorite plot point.
Thank you.
It's for a number of reasons.
I think it happened too soon.
I think it happened too soon, and it feels like a very obvious writer's room pause button. Like, we know we want these 2 together. There's other stuff we want to do in the show. We're going to have them hit the pause button, have them both go like, yeah, but that was different versions of ourselves. So we're not actually in love. So we want to keep the will they won't they alive. We're going to move on. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't. In a lesser show, it would be fine. But in a show this good, it's like the only like noticeable flaw. So it sticks out that much more.
Yeah, for a show that is really good at concluding stuff really quickly, it doesn't jive with the sensibilities of it.
Yeah. I don't think it takes the show down. I think the episode's still great. I think if we were to rank all of the episodes, Derek would still be rather high, but it would be a lot higher if it didn't have this part in it too. I was gonna call it a
hangnail, but like I hate hangnails.
Yeah,
it's not that severe.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's it's a bruise on a banana. You're still gonna eat it.
Only if you like bananas.
I mean, I like bananas.
What about a bruise on a Janet? Would he still eat?
Of course, why wouldn't you? But
She's
before
delicious.
the episode's very high in potassium.
Do you think she tastes like a banana, or?
I hope so.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing no.
Like banana flavored runts, since it's a marble.
Gross. But before the episode's done, if I didn't love the Eleanor and Chidi stuff, I do love the Eleanor and Michael stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Michael stopping by to shoot the shirt with his old pal Eleanor, one of my favorite conversations in the entire show, mostly because of Kristen Bell's delivery of the entire olive thing with a tiny voice. Don't take that olive. Don't spit that olive. Don't go get more olives while they're distracted about that old man slipping on your olive. Like, I didn't write the whole thing down.
She always loves dating into one specific experience of her life to drive a point home. And there's always a cascading event of terrible things she does while justifying it.
And she always tries to pitch it like it's just like some, theoretical,
some hypothetical.
Yeah, it's like clearly she did this.
Well, she does that as well with Janet in this episode, where she's talking about the bagel person, and she literally says to Janet, "Not based on a real example." It's like, yes,
his name's Martin so and so.
His name was Marcus Bitzberger. Marcus, I always called him Ben.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I know Janet is probably the best character in this show, but god damn, I love Eleanor. She is so funny. His name was Ben. Yeah. I think we've basically done it for this episode. Unless there's anything else we want to talk about in any of these scenes, we do have to say that at the very end of the episode, we get the wonderful cliffhanger of Sean is back. Love seeing Sean.
Yeah.
The guy's just so damn funny.
The cliffhanger is great as well because you think, oh, we're in trouble here, and then the way that they deal with that, and then
that's next week's problem. Next week's problem.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but like the way they deal with that, it's like the writing on that scene is so perfect. Though the way that they do, because you think, oh, you go into that episode thinking it's gonna be one thing, and it's totally the opposite, man. And it's so well done.
And Mark always just sells it so well. He's so good at this stuff. And even just his delivery of the Michael, sit down. Like it's like, oh
yeah. We need to talk.
Yeah, he's so good. Seen this and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Both him and Jason Mantzoukas. Man, they're great. All right, we ready for quotes?
Sure.
All right, since Ryan's been the one who's been giving us all the time constraints, he gets to go first. So hopefully someone takes a second quote. Someone will do it. Damn it.
Someone will take my second quote. Okay.
Well, you
all
can't.
Right,
no one can take your first if you're going first. Or I'd try to figure out a way to do that too.
So Eleanor is sitting there in the first episode. Eleanor is sitting there talking to Janet, and she goes, "But more importantly, what you're going through is what every person goes through." And Janet goes, "Not a person."
I love her. Not a person's not a girl's, not a robot. Just not a
person. She points at herself. She goes, "Not a person.
Not a person."
There you go.
All right, Matt, you're up.
Why are you making such a big deal about turning me into a marble forever? Because of reasons. There are reasons. They exist. I just don't want to explain them right now. What are the reasons? There are reasons, Janet. Okay, but what are they? The reason is friends. You're my friend, Janet. That's why I can't kill you. Such a good moment. Like, not the funniest, but like in terms of character development and like the way that Ted Danson sells the hell out of that, it's such a good, like the interplay is brilliant as well, because you can see that Michael's getting more and more wound up, and Janet's just there with the kind of deadpan. What are the reasons? What are the reasons?
So mine, I'm really torn between two. I said what mine was going to be, but I'm looking at another one that I also love. But I'm gonna go with the one that I teased earlier, and I'll just say the one that I also love later if no one says it. But it's got to be when Jason and Tahani show up, try to get Janet to help them a little bit more with the relationship stuff, and the whole room just gets deleted because Janet freaks out. Jason's reaction is just phenomenal. Whoa, we got robbed. It's the walls, the floors, everything, and we were standing here. These guys are good. All right, Joel, you're up.
All right,
you get to do both this one and next one.
All right. Marbleize me, Michael. It's the only choice. I won't feel any pain or anything. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me.
That's so good.
Something about...
Do you like... This is the chanting. It's so good.
I'm going to sneak one other in. Hi, guys. I'm broken.
See, that was...
I need to sneak another one in as well, though. It was like, Eleanor told me that instead of being sad, I should go get it, girl. So I'm gonna go get it, girl. Get what? Unclear. I'll get everything just to be safe.
See, my backup was the all right, Janet, what's a food that people enjoy but is also kind of a bummer? Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt.
It's
right,
so good that
okay.
and it's just like that how much that she had to do with like the construction of the good place, whilst trying to help though, whilst trying to be like
just being a great Janet. Yeah.
If you guys are all doing second lines, I'm saying when Michael discovers Tahani and Jason are sleeping, and he goes, "Whoa, you two are sleeping together," and Jason goes, "Only when we're done having sex."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jason's good. All right,
Very
Joel.
specific.
Next one.
All right. What are you doing? I imbue Derek with some of my thoughts and emotions. This is the only way I can reabsorb them. It'll be just a minute. Dang it. That is some hot reabsorbing. Can you get pregnant from reabsorbing?
Thank you for not going on because that's mine.
Oh, so you're not gonna finish it? All right.
No, yep. Just keep it right there, buddy.
Oh, I hear wind chimes. Look away. Everybody looked away. I'm going to keep watching, but you guys looked away. Goodbye, Derek.
damn it,
Goodbye, mommy,
Joel.
girlfriend.
I'm just so glad someone took Ryan's line.
I still got another.
All right. My line from this one is it comes from the constant turmoil between Michael and Chidi, as Chidi keeps telling him about all these ethical quandaries that he's walking into. But Michael still wants to do all this stuff to protect himself, and he's just very frustrated. And he goes, "Has anyone ever told you how much of a drag you are?" And Chidi's response, "Everyone."
Yeah,
Constantly.
that's not my one, but that was
on my
close.
short list. Yeah.
All right, Matt, you're up.
So I've got a bunch as well. So if no one takes any of the other ones, I'll go back around and say them. But
I have
I've
my
got to go
backup. Someone better not take. Someone better take my backup, or I will.
So Chidi, just wanted to double check. How do ethical philosophers feel about murder? It's frowned upon. Okay. What if the reason you want to murder someone is to make your life easier? That's okay, right?
All right, Ryan, what you got?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to keep with the wind chime penis, but there's two more, but I'll do this one, then I'll do my honorable mention, then we can go around and do the honorable mention if everybody's cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're sitting there talking. He goes, "I don't understand what you even like about Jason. What does he have that I don't? A soul and genitals." Here we go again about the whole no genitals thing. You're the one that gave me wind chimes instead of a penis, Janet. This isn't about your wind chime penis. And then when she's sitting there introducing Derek, and she goes, "We've even started to finish each other's Derek."
That was one of the ones I wrote down. That was a great one. I didn't write down. I wasn't going to use a lot of my Derek lines because I figured everyone else would. So I was trying to use some of the other ones. But we have the moment where Janet offers to make Eleanor her own boyfriend. "You seem sad. Would you like me to make you a boyfriend too?" Based on your last comments, it would either be Stone Cold Steve Austin's head on Tahani's body, or vice versa.
That's a good one.
One of my runners up was between Eleanor and Jason. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think you mean bad news bear.
My honorable mention was, so it's like ethically we should tell Jason that he used to be married to Janet, and it sure would be terrible if that ultimately led to Derek's death. Wink. No, the winking is bad. You should not be winking or saying the word wink. Okay, we really need to kill any suspicion that I want to murder Derek. Boom! Wink. You should be winking either.
Michael's trying. He's trying.
It's just the justification, and it's like it kind of makes sense.
A little bit. All right, we're gonna do a very quick round of plugs. We're gonna say goodbye. This show, every other show on the ATH network. Be sure to check out athpod.com. Or head over to YouTube if you just want to watch ATH itself after the hype. Where we recently in the last few weeks, we did the complete recast of Fast and Furious 5, aka Fast 5, and replaced nearly everybody with Muppets. If you have not listened to that yet, I highly encourage you to. I think it's some of the best podcasting we have done in a while. Joel, what you plugging?
Super GG Radio is an NPR of Illinois video game podcast where we talk about mostly pre-released indie titles, what we've been playing from our backlog. And coming up soon, there will be coverage of both the Summer Game Fest going on right now as of this recording, as well as some Steam Next Fest demo footage. So be on the lookout for that. Afterthoughts Podcast is a book club between me and Kelly. We've got episodes in the can. I just haven't posted them up yet. So look forward to me eventually getting around to that. And I've started Dune, so
Hell
lay
yeah,
off.
you have.
Yes.
You say lay off. You are so late. No,
I'm
we're
gonna
not
say,
going to lay
like-
off.
It's been 5 years, Joel.
Now that... Shut up, Matt.
All right, Ryan, what you plugging?
You can find me on the Front Row Network where I do various things, reviewing movies, but you can also find me on a sub channel there, Front Row Flashbacks. We may be making a comeback. We'll see. But yeah, check us out.
You've been saying maybe for a while now, man.
Well, we're working on it.
Matt, anything to plug?
I've got a couple of things actually. I wrote an article recently that got that's out now. You can read it. It's about Miami Vice, which is 40 years old this year. Yeah, it's been the response so far has been pretty good, pretty positive. Like the places where I've shared it, people have enjoyed it. And science nonfiction is happening in a little different way, but it's still happening. And we've already recorded 2 episodes. We are covering The Expanse. Yeah, so just it will be coming out eventually. I'm gonna try and get 6 episodes recorded and edited before we start releasing though, because we were supposed to record episodes 3 and 4 last weekend, watched the episodes, did all the notes, and then forgot to record. So,
That's a crucial part of recording is recording.
yeah, remembering to record, like, not when you're getting into bed and going, oh, we were going to record tonight.
Oops.
Dang it.
Well, live and learn. Thank you everyone so much for listening. I'm just gonna bow out of this thing real quick. Bye.
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 Go fuck yourself.
There we go.